If I'm managing customer calls, incoming bids, all of that administrative work that you would put to an executive assistant in an office, you can offload to me. If you're not managing your time and you don't have those skills or that structure in place, you are not going to be successful. It is attainable and accessible to the everyday person. Try one service that you really feel like. If you hate running errands after work, have someone do it for you. That's part of what's going to keep you going. Our connections, our social fabric is really the most important part of.
I believe that social connections are really tied to happiness. Really, it's the relationships that matter, even more so after COVID. And that's why I'm really excited about today's episode and my guest, Alexis Smith, the founder of Happy Heart Concierge. Alexis, thank you so much for being with us today.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me. And I'm really excited.
Alexis, for someone who hasn't heard of Happy Heart Concierge or doesn't really know much about concierge services, like how would you explain it to someone?
A lot of people are looking for extra help. So they need someone to pick up their kids from school because let's face it, school is 8 to 2 and most people work 8 to 5. So how can you be in all those places? And then they really need a little bit of like, can you pick up my laundry? Can you fold my laundry? Can you do all those things? So it's really that whole house management of managing that, as well as there's a lot of people that work professionally that need that support for speaking engagements, for managing their calendars between the two. And that's where the concierge comes in because it's kind of an all-encompassing, but it also is with someone you trust instead of paying for every single service line and getting the quality is lacking.
How did you grow into being someone's, I guess, right-hand person or their lifelong partner?
I have a client who travels 3 days out of the week, and then she's a single parent and she shares custody. So when you're doing all that, you have 2 dogs, you have 2 kids, you have a school schedule, you have all their extracurricular. It got to a point where she'd be like, hey, can you watch the dogs? Hey, can you do this? And so it evolved into additional requests because they trusted me in their house with their kids, all those things. And then I got to a point where like, we need to have a conversation about what this means compensation wise. I don't mind doing it. I love your family, but if I'm going to give this much time, it should be compensated time.
What would be your typical customer when it's on the personal? Is it more of like the elderly that typically reach out?
I honestly get a lot of professionals that need that type of executive support at home. They need someone to run their calendar with their kid. They need someone to fold their laundry. They need someone to check on their dogs. They need what an executive assistant does in their office at home.
Are you paying out of your own pocket and then people are reimbursing you, or are they just giving you a checkbook and then you're just using their money?
If I'm doing grocery shopping and I know what their grocery list is, generally they'll just transfer money into Venmo or something and then they get a reimbursement of it. Or depending on what it's for, like if it's a prescription, most of the time it's $5. They just add it into their weekly invoice. And if you know what it's going to cost and it's coming in, I can just screenshot them. Hey, this is what it's going to cost, sent into the account. For the most part, all of my clients have been very responsive to payment. So it's not I think it would be a bigger issue if I had delayed payment all the time. But for the most part, no, it's not really a big deal.
Is it like a common compliment that you usually get?
People usually feel a relief of the mental load of handling all the things, because the other thing that I offer too is if I cannot do it physically, so I can't get your dog, I can't get your child, I can't do that, and you book me out of the blue, like, hey, can you watch Jimmy on Tuesday the 24th at 2? Well, if I can't do it, I've already reached out to my people, hey, can you watch Jimmy at 2? And if you haven't met him, I'll also make sure that in the meantime, we've set up a meet and greet so you feel safe. So once you book with me, you never really have to go and find new childcare, new that. There's someone else that you'll probably know and trust to fill in those blanks. So I think the mental load of being like, oh, my nanny canceled, now I got to find someone for childcare. There's never there. I can't go. So the mental load of all of that, keeping everything running is really diminished. And I think overall, it's really made them all significantly happier and being able to do other things.
Did I hear you say that you do children's like homework and tutoring?
I do. So one of my clients, he actually had him, he'll be 13 this year. I've been able to teach him. We go through, he has a full routine on the week. Okay, Mondays is this day. He knows who's picking him up. He knows what he has to do on Mondays. Tuesdays are, it's shower day, it's dishes, it's this. He has all those. Oh, okay, I know on Thursdays my stuff's due for school. So I've created the systems too that are going to make them more productive as they get older.
Like, how do you yourself stay organized?
So I have a Google Calendar that has everything on it, even people that I'm not there. And it's color coordinated by person. So like his name's Bennett. Bennett's all red. Everything related to him is red. and I have it labeled and I have it all on there as a visual of whether it's a coordination that I need to do or someone else needs to do. And then I have a Google Calendar or a calendar for clients that require it. Like, hey, you have this. This is your household calendar. Based on those structures, I kind of know what to expect. And it goes from there. That's kind of how I do it. I use a lot of Google Docs, Google, all that, essentially Microsoft, but through Google,
I don't know how to say the word, like Reiki,
Yes.
And sound therapy. And so like, what is that?
So Reiki is an energy healing form that's based in Eastern Asia. It was originally in Japan, and it is using the energy that already exists to help in healing, relaxation, and meditation. I would say it's a relaxation of energy and meditation combined. So it's essentially laying your hands. You are going to do a chakra assessment, get consent from the person. Do you want hands on? Do you want hands off? Do you have pain? Is there anything you're looking for? All that. And a lot of people are very this is woo woo. I don't believe in this. And then my hands get really hot and they'll feel it and they'll be like, oh, I could feel blah, blah, blah. Or I saw a color. And so you move through their body and it's just almost like concentrated meditation.
I feel like you do more. I don't even think I scratched the surface. What else do you do?
So I do all the personal assisting. I also coordinate any type of grooming and any of that. So my assistant is actually a groomer. So if you have an appointment, all that grooming is done, childcare. I also am really a big into the community. So if there's big events coming up or something, I'll take the kids. You don't have to pay me. You want to go? One of my clients has 2 horses, a pony and a horse. Well, the pony's a little too small to really be ridden by an adult, but she still wants to be ridden. So she was like, hey, some of your kids want to come ride the pony this weekend? Want to go on a horseback? We can have a morning. They can pet them, horse them. Those are experiences that I'm investing in that I think are part of creating community, creating connection, creating that. And I think that's part of it. But all the other stuff is just kind of part of what comes with the clients. People are just looking for someone to partner with them.
What's the best compliment you've ever received?
I think the best one I've received is probably the one that it's actually on my testimonial, and it says that was a much longer one. She's like, it's like having your own chief of staff, or she's like a husband, but you don't have to bring the bank for it. But knowing that someone trusts me with their kids in their life, like a chief of staff of a president or a big company, or as a significant other, that's very, very complimentary to know that people trust you in all of those positions. That's a verbal compliment, but I've also gotten a compliment. I've had people call me. Someone called me and was like, can you take my wife to go get oral surgery? Putting someone in a vulnerable position with your care is one of the biggest compliments you can get.
What's the craziest thing that you've ever had to do for a customer?
I did have someone ask me to plan a holiday party within 7 days and do all the event planning and all the coordination, and then proceeded to be upset when I said, well, this is going to cost this much money. And she was like, well, I was like, this is 7 days before in the holiday season.
Have you ever had to then fire a customer?
I haven't had to fire a customer, but I did have one person that I watched her kids and she wanted me to watch them late night so she could leave, which is fine. She didn't have any furniture. And then she texted me at 2 a.m. and was like, hey, can you stay longer? I was asleep on the carpet. And then she just assumed that was consent, and then came home in the morning, and I was still working at my other job. I was late to work because she showed up late. But I had nothing, there was nothing for me. And then she asked me again and I was like, no, I can't because of X, Y, and Z. You didn't respect my time. There's nothing for me to do. And I can't, I'm sitting on a carpet, and I was late to an actual job when you didn't receive consent. I was like, unfortunately, we can't work together again.
What would that look like for a virtual assistant versus an in-person assistant?
So I think a lot of virtual assistants and a lot of people that do online social media and content creation. I don't create content. I won't go shoot it, but if you send it to me, you want it all made up, or you want the Canva flag and you want I do all the flyering. I do all that, as well as if I'm managing customer calls, incoming bids, all of that administrative work that you would put to an executive assistant in an office, you can offload to me.
What qualities do you think someone needs to be successful in your line of business?
They need to be knowledgeable in how to navigate your own schedule, first of all, because being an entrepreneur and being on your own schedule, if you're not managing your time and you don't have those skills or that structure in place, you are not going to be successful because things are going to fall through the cracks. I think that's part of it. I think the other part of that is actually just being like smart enough to understand some of the things that are being thrown at you, because not everyone has that level of knowledge in those areas or is willing to find out those things. Part of it also is being personable. You need to have community. You need to understand what it means to talk to those people, understand them, and listen, and then anticipate. The better you know them, the more you can anticipate what they're going to need. If you're not in that place where you're interacting and you're very cold, you're not going to find out those things.
If someone's listening and they're on the fence about buying a concierge service and they have a lot going on in their life, what would you tell them?
Try one service that you really feel like. If you hate running errands after work, have someone do it for you. Invest in them, talk to them, tell them this is what you're looking for, and let them do it.
If someone gives you a call or reaches out to you, what does that first consultation look like?
Honestly, if it's a first call, reach out to them. I just try to get a feel for them, kind of ask what they're looking for. First of all, like I want to know what you're looking for. Like, are you looking for childcare? Are you looking for personal? Are you looking for professional? And then I kind of want to get a vibe for how you feel about this. So tell me a little bit about yourself. What's your life look like? Are you married? You have a dog? You have this, all that. And I kind of give them a background as well of like, hey, this is where I started. This is what's going, and this is what we offer.
What do you think people normally get wrong as entrepreneurs when they first start out?
When you're owning a business, it's not just the services that you're doing. It's, did I communicate? Did I invoice? Do I have all the insurance in place? Do I have the tax stuff in place? Do I have an NDA? All of the other administrative things that did I pay for the right places? Do I have an EIN? Do I have all these things? Am I doing the right thing? No one tells you how to do those things. If you're lucky enough, you can look up some of it, but even then, they're not going to know everything unless you're paying for each professional to tell you those things.
So what do you do to overcome your burnout?
The best thing I could have done is bring on an assistant that can share in some of the more taxing clients and all that. And then I also do take time for myself completely. Like last weekend, I went to a resort and got to like do cold plunge and all that. It was just a rest and relaxation, like hot spring. So I also think it's important to connect with my own people where I don't have to be on, or to be completely off and be like, service.
Do you have any tips or advice for them to kind of do things to kind of break out of that loneliness?
I would say get involved in the community. There are things in this area that are even go in space where other people are, as long as you're not socially like have anxiety, go in places where people are engaging. Like one of the best places to do when I'm like feeling some type of ways, I'll go to the farmer's market and get a coffee and just walk around. The vendors want to talk to you because they want to sell to you, but you could have a great conversation, feel like your cup is, and who knows, engage in things that are available to you community-wise. Having grown up in Southern California and living in Sacramento in the last 10 years, people in Sacramento generally are very friendly.
Is there any topics that we haven't covered about the Happy Heart Concierge that you wanted to bring up?
No, I think all of them are kind of covered. And I think it's important to recognize what it is and that it is attainable and accessible to the everyday person. I think a lot of people think that this is some high level, only the richest have that, but it's really quite attainable because it's a service line. So it's based on the hours that you set. Now, if you want something more regularly, should you communicate, hey, I'm looking to do this every week? Yes. Is there going to be the same day service every day? No. But I think that people just think that it's unattainable because it's out of sight, out of mind, and they're like, well, I can't afford that. But they don't actually research or they know where to look. And I think that's what I really want people to know. Like there are partners in our community that are here for you, that want to partner for you. Just yes, it is a service, but also because they value the relationship in the community that exists.
That's awesome. So if someone wanted to reach out to you and find out more or go through a consultation call to see if it's a good fit, where can they find your social media, your website, your phone numbers, your email? How do they get connected?
So you can find me. I do have a Facebook, but Facebook business is weird, but you could send me there. That would be the Happy Heart Concierge. You can also find me Instagram. If you're looking for social media and insight, you're going to get the best content about feeling my vibes and all of the rates and everything, all the services on Instagram. And that's the Happy Heart Concierge. You must have the at the beginning. And that'll have all of that. And it'll also have a link to the website for any additional fill-in questions. And then you can also on the website, www.happyheartconcierge, concierge is concierge.com. We'll have all of the content information and my phone number as well. The phone number that's listed goes directly to me. So I will get it. I answer text the fastest, but anything else that you need, it's generally within 24 hours, if not sooner.
Awesome. We'll get all the social media links and phone numbers in the description below, and we'll get them popped up on the screen. So
Perfect.
for the video version, for those that are watching, you'll see it. But for the audio version, look for the description or click into it. You'll get all that contact information if you want to find out more. Alexis, we do a section where the last guest leaves a question for the next guest. So the question that was left for you is, what is the one thing that you could do every day to make an impact on somebody?
Make sure you're checking on at least one person. Just a, hey, checking in on you, something. Let people know that they matter, because people don't get that enough. We live in a false society, a society run by productivity. Make sure you're checking in on someone. Make sure you're making a social connection every day to make an impact, because I promise you those things are going to make a significant impact. And learn people's names. That would be another one. Learn people's names and use them. So if you go to the same coffee shop, you should know your barista by name and face and use it, because there's something personable about those things, and that's how it's going to make things better. People remember your name, your face, and how you made them feel.
That's great feedback. I think that's definitely needed nowadays. Well, Alexis, thank you so much for joining us on today's episode of the Key Concepts podcast. It's been a pleasure learning about your concierge service and everything that you do.
Thanks so much for having me. It was a great conversation, and I hope that for both of us, it's fruitful and continues to grow in collaboration.
At the end of the day, concierge service is not about checking a task list or a checkbox. It's really about creating a calm space and building relationships with the people that matter the most. So thank you for watching this episode of the Key Concepts podcast, and we'll catch you on the next one.
Thanks so much.